guys could slide in a little bit.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We want to give you an update on our Joy Road Farm investigation that we had started back on May 20th of this year. I just want to introduce our partners with this investigation. If the one thing that this tragedy has brought together is that our law enforcement community and also our firefighters, the volunteers that put so much time into this, it was really a one team put together approach led by this sheriff's office, but partnering and collaborating with our forest rangers, NCOM police, the district attorney's office, our Wayne County probation office, our CID unit here. Who have I missed here? Fire control, Bill Bellingham and our fire coordinator, Bond, were a great help in getting us people to search the farm like that. And again, our lieutenants, our road patrol lieutenant, Croft, our special units lieutenant, Ryan Dock, and our CID lieutenant, who led the investigation, Rob Milby. So a great hand to all the people that helped us with this. So I'm just going to recap and bring us up to date on what we've done, similar to what I did on October 15th. On Saturday, May 19th, we received a call to check the welfare of Selena Calderon at the Geneva Road address. Deputies checked that area. No one answered the door. Later on Sunday, the 20th, we received more information that Selena and Owen were at the Joy Road Farm location. We went there to check that. No one was at the farm residence, so we took a missing persons report and we searched that area. We continued to search the farm area on Monday the 21st and also on Tuesday the 22nd, where later in the evening Lieutenant Croft saw an individual walking a wood line, went in and talked to that individual, and he was checking his trail cameras, and that's when we saw the defendant Reyes in and out of the woods for approximately 5 hours. On the 23rd of Wednesday, an extensive search again we located Selena that morning. There was an extensive search by law enforcement, and then on the 23rd, a team led by Lieutenant Ryan Dock and Croft and a couple deputies with assistance from Tom Doherty, Sheriff Doherty of Livingston County. Reyes was taken into custody in a farm in the town of York in Livingston County. On Thursday, May 24th, an expanded search by law enforcement and fire department volunteers. We continued to search the farm. That was organized by Deputy Coordinator Bill Bellingham, along with all our grid searches by Captain Richter of the Forest Rangers and his team of 11 plus people that assisted us during that time. Reyes again was charged on the 23rd for criminal tampering, or charged with criminal tampering of evidence, and was incarcerated in our jail facility on $25,000 bond cash and $50,000 bond. From Wednesday, May 23rd until June 3rd, 1,111 searchers searched the Joy Road Farm and surrounding areas. On Wednesday, October 10th, we had continued searching the farm periodically by our special teams, our dive team and our ERT team, running cadaver dogs through there with no success through the summer. On October 10th, the emergency response team of the Sheriff's Office was out searching the farm, and we found decomposed skeletal remains. We were out there again on the 11th to continue, found a shallow grave. Those skeletal remains were turned over to the Monroe County Medical Examiner's Office. We did a briefing on October 15th to bring you up to date on the skeletal remains. Last week, the Monroe County Medical Examiner's Office ID'd the remains as Owen, the child that has been missing. And yet on Monday, this Monday, December 17th, the DA's office presented the case to the grand jury, Wayne County grand jury, and yesterday a sealed indictment came down charging Reyes with 2 counts of murder in the 2nd degree and 2 counts of criminal tampering with evidence. He's currently incarcerated in the Wayne County Jail on no bail. So we'll entertain any questions that you do have at this time.
Sheriff, what do you believe happened to Selena and Owen? How were they killed?
I don't have that information right now at this time. I'd let the DA presented that to the grand jury, if you want to speak to that.
We have no comment on that at this point. Obviously the information was presented to the grand jury. It's evidentiary, and we can't go into that at this point.
Can you talk about where you believe that murder happened? Was it in the home where you searched? Was it on the farm? Without going into the details of what happened, where did it happen? Was there a weapon recovered? Is there any additional information?
A lot of that is evidentiary, but we believe that the crime all happened on the Joy Road farm. You had a question, ma'am?
She just took it.
Okay.
Well, I was wondering, so Reyes originally, he didn't really talk about Owen. Has he ever since then admitted to potentially doing this or talked about Owen at all?
So the only time our detectives from the sheriff's office spoke with Reyes was on the evening of the 22nd and the morning of the 23rd. Those interviews with him were all videotaped with our equipment that we have here. We have had no other conversation with him since May 23rd.
So it was strictly police work that led you to Owen's body. He gave no indication of where the child might be?
He had no discussion whatsoever in regards to Owen.
So Sheriff, at this point, do you have any kind of motive as to why this crime happened?
I think that's something that's going to come out with the district attorney in trial. Again, we're not looking to adjudicate this case through the lens of your camera, but through a courtroom, and that will be the job of the district attorney's office to bring justice to this.
I understand that, Sheriff, but basically today we're learning things that we've known since those remains were, we knew he was your prime suspect. He was being held for certain reasons. So without any further context as to what happened, I think there's still a lot of unanswered questions about how it happened, if there was any history of violence between these people, if there were any witnesses. I mean, we're not really learning anything new.
Other than on October 15th, I told you when we would make an arrest that I would have another news conference. And I wanted to keep my word to the press. The only thing that we know about what you asked is that Selena did seek assistance from a domestic violence shelter. That information is confidential between her and the domestic violence shelter, okay? But again, on the 15th, I told the press that when we made arrest, I would hold another press briefing. And I'm sorry that we can't answer your questions, but again, we're not going to try this in the lens of your camera. We're going to let the district attorney's office present this case to a court.
Can you say whether anything came from the cell phone that you guys found along the highway?
To my knowledge, we did not find anything off that cell phone.
Do you believe that there was one incident with he and she and one incident with the child? Do you believe that they were killed at the same time in the same place? I mean, is there any sort of timetable or timeline you can provide as to when certain things happened? Because obviously her body was discovered much sooner than his was. But do you believe that he died around the same time she did?
I'm going to say the last time that Selena and Owen were seen alive was on May 16th by the farm owners. Again, we received the call on the 19th to check the welfare. So somewhere between the 16th and the 20th, this crime occurred of the two murders of these two individuals, and I would assume that they happened at the same time.
How was the Monroe County ME's office able to determine if the body was Owen's, if it was Owen's, like you told us back in October?
Through DNA analysis, but look, I'm not a qualified healthcare professional or a scientist, so you'd have to ask the Monroe County Medical Examiner's office to answer that question. I am far from qualified to answer that question.
Is there a reason why the indictment was presented on Monday? You had the medical examiner. Why so long in terms of, you could have charged, I assume, the suspect for the killing of Selena quite a while ago. What happened last week that made you bring both cases at the same time to a grand jury?
Well, I had a conversation with Lieutenant Milby and also a conversation with D.A. Healy that after we had found Selena and we were continuing to search for Owen, that we needed to pump the brakes on this to take our time. to do this, but once we received the report from the ME's office, and once we found the remains of Owen and it was determined that he was identified as Owen, then the district attorney's office decided to proceed, which I agreed with.
Was the ME able to pinpoint a cause of death on both victims?
You want to answer that?
That's something I'm not going to go into right now. That's something that the medical examiner will testify to going forward with the trial.
Where in relation was Owen's body found to where Selena's body was found on the farm?
Back on October 15th, I stated that it was within about a quarter-mile radius.
The trail cams only allegedly picked him up with Selena, though, correct? Or did the trail cams also lead you to?
The trail cameras put Reyes in the area where we found Selena. And later on, the trail cams were in the area where the shallow grave of Owen was found.
Sheriff, you mentioned you wanted to put the brakes on it for a little bit after discovering Selena. What went on between all the months through summer and to get us to this point? Obviously, he was a suspect,
So again, from May 20th to the 23rd, Sheriff's Office deputies searched the farm. And then from the 23rd, we expanded it. Once we had the trail cam information, we expanded the search of the farm and the scope of the search and the number of people searching. That's when we had our fire coordinator's office, led by Deputy Coordinator Bill Bellingham, helped us bring fire volunteers in, and also search and rescue folks. So from May 23rd to June 3rd, we had 1,111 searchers that came in. We held several conferences every day to talk about our searches. I relied on Captain Richter of the Forest Rangers and his vast experience of searches. And every day we would evaluate what we would do and what areas we would search. And then on the 23rd, came to the conclusion that we would slow the search down, okay, with all the volunteers, but we would continue the search by law enforcement. I have to thank the Greece Police Department for allowing us to use their cadaver dog that they came down several times through the summer. And then in July, August, and September, and October, we had our special teams out there searching the woods, and we continued to search that area.
You've had a rough few months here in Wayne County. A lot of really serious, very heart-wrenching crimes, really. From a law enforcement standpoint, how are your teams holding that?
Well, I can say this. My group of folks here, okay, our team, it's not just me, it's our team, okay, and also with our collaborators, all right? These folks standing behind me have helped us greatly on the two major investigations that we've had. The one this one in May with Selena and Owen, and then the one on October 22nd, where the two were gunned down up there. I can just say that the deputies have done a fabulous job. The CID unit, led by Lieutenant Milby, those folks have done a fabulous job. They're running on empty, but they're professionals, they're working hard, and they will continue to work hard. And hopefully we'll get a breather over the holiday season, and hopefully we won't have these tragedies in 19. But if we do, I'm very confident that the deputies and our detectives will rise to the occasion, and our collaborators, our law enforcement partners, our fire service and first responders will join us in what we need to do to bring justice.
Just thinking about like the past couple months in the investigation, do you think you and your team could have done something differently, or do you think you handled this investigation well?
You know, I would say that it would have been my hope that from May 23rd to June 3rd, when we had 1,111 searchers up there, that we would have found that young child during that time. You know, obviously, you know, we beat ourselves up all the time that we wish we could have brought this to a resolve sooner. But as my many conversations I've had with Captain Richter, and I'll let Captain Richter speak to the ground cover and the difficulty of this search and what we had, because he's the subject expert on that. But obviously, I wish we could have came to a conclusion earlier, but we didn't. But the one thing that I want to say is the deputy sheriffs, the detectives, our law enforcement collaboration with all our partners. We didn't quit, we didn't give up, and we kept going after this.
Sheriff, you mentioned something about that conversation you had with Reyes being recorded. I'm sure you heard that he had made some comments at court about perhaps not being given fair opportunity to talk. Did you want to respond to that?
Everybody has an opinion. What we did has been documented on videotape. That videotape will be used during the trial, and I can say that our detectives acted professionally and appropriately.
Did he admit to anything during the interview?
He spoke of moving Selena's body.
He didn't say anything in regards to Owen's body?
Nothing.
Or to the cause of death for either of them?
Nothing.
Was there ever a weapon recovered?
No.
Was there a weapon involved?
I can't say that at this time.
Anybody else in or around where they lived? Are there any witnesses to any of their interactions in the days leading up to and days of the murder?
Our conversation with the farm owner and his wife gave us no indication of any issues. Anything else? Okay, sorry we can't give you more, but again, we're not going to adjudicate this in the lens of your camera. We're going to do this in a courtroom. I really, again, want to thank our partners in law enforcement and our first responder volunteers. I'd like to thank DA Clarko and his staff for their assistance that they've given us, and now the case is basically turned over to the DA's office to prosecute it.
When's the next court date?
January 15th.
And the charge of murder, correct?
2 counts of murder, 2 counts of tampering with evidence.
And so that particular charge is intention to kill.
Murder second?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Anything else, folks? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.